Oh shoot, I gotta put my hat on. That's a bit of a process. I'll make it an unveiling then when you start the stream.
That's all good. Hello,
Thank you.
everybody. I hope you're well. I hope you
Hello.
can all hear me okay. Just been messing about with the settings. I was just doing some last minute rushing about. You know how it goes. I'm just making sure because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. That should have sorted it. I hope everybody's well. Great to see you all. I'm going to do a quick roll call through the chat in a moment to say hello to everybody. But for now, you may have seen him before. We've got, I know I'm pointing at the wrong corner of the screen. We've got Mark from Centroid Aerial Images. So do you want to give us an hello, mate, and tell us a bit about yourself and your channel?
Hello, everybody. My name is Mark, aka Centroid. Do a lot of drone work. Haven't been flying much because the weather's been bad, but also do a lot of 3D printing. But I'm glad to be here again. Thanks for having me again, Steve.
That is absolutely fine, mate. Kev, my goodness, that is an awesome Disney-related conspiracy theory.
Oh,
Kev's a good friend of mine, along with Mark as well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel, Kev, before I do a roll call?
Well, yeah, I'm Kev, and I'm part of Steve's crew. But I also have my own channel, which is mainly live videos shot at Yardbirds Rock Club of various acts.
Yeah, man. Okie dokie. That's all good. I'm going to do a quick roll call through the chat. Great to see everybody here. And any of the streams that I do, very much encouraged to check everybody out. Visit people's channels. If you like what you see and you think you're going to be watching some of their videos or you intend to, subscribe to them. Let them know you've subscribed. Say hello. All have a good conversation in the chat. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? So, okay, Crags is in the chat, as you may have guessed, the first one in the chat. Country Cycle Cam, I hope you're doing well. We've got Kieran in from Abandoned City Camo Crew, so I hope you're doing well, buddy. FSV's in, my young apprentice, I hope he's doing well. Cole Outdoors, how you doing? And I was a guest on Cole Outdoors panel a few nights ago, actually. I think it would have been Friday night for him, but it was up until about 8 Saturday morning for me. So you know what I'm like, night owl style. Eagle VP. Now I can't stop bumping into Eagle VP. I've bumped into him on 3 different streams today. I think he's stalking me. And I don't know. We've got Paul in from PMDB Entertainment. Great to see you, mate. PM's Adventure Vlogs. Just looking through the chat. That's all good. Having a quick look. Drone Tread on me. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Gary Foster's Brand Aerials. Oh, blooming heck. We've got all sorts of great people in today. Nikos Polski. Aerial. How's it going, buddy? Great to see you. EBR FPV. Blooming heck. If it looks like I'm not looking into the camera, I'm reading through the chat. I'm on quite a big screen. So it gets pretty difficult to keep eye contact with the camera. I sort of cricked my neck earlier, so I haven't got my hat on. It's quite heavy. It will be going on as soon as we start talking about conspiracies, but essentially until then, I'm trying to save my neck. So yeah, Finn says, is that a new headset? My old headset is now broken. It just stopped working. Very, very odd. Kev's been a good Samaritan and lent me his headset until I can get a new one. So, so big thanks to Kev. You know what I mean? Go over and, pay some homage to his channel, as it were, for making this possible, because without this headset, it wouldn't have been possible. That's cool. Cole Outdoors says he was like 14 hours into an 18-hour live stream when I came on. Yeah. That was a crazy day for you, that, Cole, and you've definitely got some stamina. I'll give you that. He did an 18-hour live stream the other day.
He is he raids like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Miss T has just come in. I hope you're well. Black-eyed Shorty. Oh, great to see you. I'm always absolutely honoured when you guys show up. I really am. You know, Mark or Kev, are you sort of, have you got your ear on the stream at the minute? Are all the audio levels sounding good?
Yeah, it sounds good
sounds
to me.
fine to me.
Oh, good-o. That's all right, because the volume control on this headset, it doesn't seem to turn the volume down, so I've had to lower the volume down a bit in the Windows settings. Otherwise, my ears are getting blasted off. So, yeah. Yeah, Life of Redo. Great to see you, buddy. You know what I'm like. I like a good, you know, little waffle before we get going. You know, make sure that everybody's coming in and, you know, getting settled in, ready for the stream. And as you can tell, obviously, above me there, Dark Disney Conspiracies. We are going to be covering all sorts of sort of weird stuff about the Disney Corporation from its founding right up until present day, and some of the darker theories surrounding the films and whatnot, which some of them are, for saying the kid films, they've got some pretty adult themes in there and other strange themes and events and imagery, and we want to talk about some of that. So, yeah. Dennis from DGM Films is in here. Great to see you, buddy. Like I say, I will be streaming again Wednesday. Last Wednesday, I do apologise. I had my stream set up, scheduled all day. I'd even promoted it, and about half an hour before I was due to go on live, I just couldn't figure out a workaround with my other mic, which isn't very good. I couldn't come up with a workaround in time, and I had to cancel the stream, unfortunately, which put me in a pretty terrible mood, because I hate breaking the live stream schedule of Wednesdays and Sundays. I'm sure you guys can probably sympathise with me on that. You know, when you've got a live stream in mind and you know exactly what you want to talk about, and you've sort of got ready for it all day essentially, and then like, oh, right at the last minute, it's like, crap, I can't do it. You know. So yeah, all right. Now I know Kev is a big fan of Disney films, right? So. Which one would you say is your favourite Disney film, Kev? Because we might have some things to talk about. You never know.
Well, I think you know the answer to this one. It's The Lion King.
The Lion King.
I absolutely love The Lion King.
Yeah. Hello there, Love My Drones. Great to see you, buddy. You know, thanks to everybody who's in here. Everybody who's here is, you know, always very welcome. I'm always honoured for every single viewer that comes into the live stream. So, Mark, are you a fan of Disney in any capacity?
I've been to Disney World a few times. I do enjoy it. I don't watch the films that often. I can answer which film I don't like.
What's that?
And I'm probably going to get hate mail for this one or unsubscribed. Apparently, it's a fan favorite. I'm not a big fan of Fantasia. That's an oldie. It's an oldie, but
yeah,
it's
a bit before me time, that one.
It was supposedly groundbreaking, won awards and stuff for its time, but I just did not particularly care for it that much.
Yeah, okay. So we do have someone new in the chat, Life of Redo. First time I've seen you anywhere on YouTube. Apparently Abandoned City Camo Crew has sent him over, so thanks Abandoned City, and thanks to Life of Redo for coming in. You know, obviously I'm not sure what you do on your channel or whatnot, but I am going to queue up a tab for that. I'm going to give you a quick look, mate, because I like to just say hello and, you know what people are about, basically. Oh, not bad. 1.1k subs. That's cool. Shot Roulette. It looks like a food review type channel there. Oh, yeah, that looks really good, mate, and I am absolutely honoured to meet you. You have a new sub from me, mate, so that's all good.
Steve,
yeah.
Earlier in the chat, Miss T asked about the foil hats. Why the foil hats?
Because essentially a lot of conspiracy theorists believe that the signals going about, which are either alien signals, FBI signals, CIA signals, or other sort of government endorsed sort of mind control signals that, you know, have all sorts of negative effects on your brain. And that's why people wear tinfoil hats, because supposedly it basically bounces off the rays and they don't penetrate your skull into your brain. That is essentially the reason for the tinfoil hats. And I wear mine semi sort of ironically, if you like, because I don't believe that that's a thing, but it looks cool. And I mean, I've dragged Mark into the hat making scene, and Kev as well.
Oh boy, have you!
And have you made a new hat for this week, mate?
Yes, I did. I'm almost embarrassed to put it on. It's a bit of a process to put it on. It's in 3 pieces. So do I have to put it on now?
Well, we're not quite onto the conspiracies just yet, but it's all good.
It's not gonna be as air conditioned as the last one, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
And thank God I wear a headset, because the racket it makes without it is ridiculous.
Okay, I'm just going to catch up with the chat really quick. Life of Redo says much appreciated. It's reviews, stupid challenges, explores. Basically a good overview. The kids do some vids too. That is awesome, mate, and it is great to meet you. I'm going to throw a blue wrench in there for you, mate, because you seem absolutely spot on. There we go. Add mod. That's all good. What else we got on the go? Cardoso Media, how's it going, buddy? Barrow Boy Woods. We've got Jeanette Pickering in the house. You know, Lemon Drizzle Queen. Awesome. We was there last week. Yeah, it would still be technically last week. And we went to Sheffield to meet up with them, with the Eagle. So that's all good. Media Videos is in here. Great to see you. Talia Pratton, that's my little sister. How's it going? And yeah, essentially it's my nephew's christening in Leeds next Sunday. So we're off down to Leeds out with Kev next Sunday. Yeah. And then obviously I'll get to see my little sister because I don't get to see her enough. And you are sorely missed. Okay, I'm just trying to catch up with this chat as we go through. I do realise I get waffling on and I do skip out on the chat. So essentially I'm going to try a lot harder on this stream to keep up with the chat. Asgard Studios, how's it going, buddy? You know, where's my tinfoil hat? I am a little bit underdressed at the minute. You know, rest assured, it is ready and waiting, you know. But I've cricked my neck, so the longer I can go without putting it on, the better, right? White Rose Adventures, how's it going? That's why me neck probably looks a little bit rigid. I'm sort of moving quite slow. That's cool. Leonard Shea, great to see you, buddy. Drones Rocks, got mine now, but I haven't flown it. Which drone have you got, mate? I'd like to know. I always love a good drone chat. Feel free to chat about anything drones, YouTube, anything in the chat. You know, it's all about, you know, not just conspiracies, but supporting each other's channels as well while we do this. You know, I have to keep reinforcing that message because if it weren't for me visiting streams the way I do on a regular basis, I wouldn't know most people here. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. Excellent. I can't endorse that message enough. Mrs. RC, how's it going? Now, obviously, once we get going, if you know of any Disney conspiracy theories or information, feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll be doing some talking about that. Talia Pratton says, dark Disney conspiracy theories, tell me good. Oh, I've got a lot to get through, little sis, don't worry. White Rose Adventure says, dealing with my stalkers, being pests, still trying to make turn stuff round on me to make me look like the bad guy. Yeah, that's a bad situation to be in. Life of Redo says, what would you recommend for a good but cheap drone for someone that's likely to ditch it several times? I'd highly recommend as an entry-level drone anything by DJI, because for beginners, they'll literally pick up, take it off, and it's all auto-stabilized. Essentially, it sort of flies itself, essentially, like this. But the one I'd really recommend, if you're just getting into it, is a DJI Spark. Does pretty much everything this does. But it's a fraction of the size. It's miniature, but it's GPS stabilized, altitude hold, all sorts of smart features, and it comes in at around £350 to £400 new, which would be around about $450 to $500 if you know US dollars, if you want to work it out that way. And yeah, any DJI drone, any of these compact models are brilliant. And I swing this one about a fair bit because this is my broke one, this is my ornament. And that was me flying like an idiot. That wasn't a technical malfunction or anything like that. So don't get a good DJI drone, and don't think that you're the best pilot in the world and wreck it within 3 weeks, essentially. That's the best advice I can give, okay?
I second that. I want a Spark myself.
Yeah.
Someday I'll get one.
I think the Eagle is going for a Spark as well. He wants to sell his Phantom and is getting a Spark. Pixie's channel, how's it going? Chris Pickering. Great to see you, buddy. I dropped in your stream earlier. He was playing loads of crazy clips and that. I was like, am I hallucinating or what? You know, I didn't know what was going on. That's cool. Yeah, Abandoned City Camo Crew, 29 and 18 likes. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, mate. I will echo that right now. And what the funny thing is, I scheduled the stream today, and I was just laughing with Mark and Kev just before we came on that I actually got 1 dislike before the stream even started, which is why do people do that? They don't even know what we're going to be talking about. You know, I actually like a few Disney films and whatnot, and I think some of the Disney conspiracy theories are out there, and I'll openly say that I don't support that ideology or anything like that. Nathan likes drums. Great to see you, buddy. So we've been on 21 minutes, and so far we've only seen Kev's tinfoil hat, and now I am very much looking forward to seeing your hat, Mark. Do you want to show us this hat, mate? Because I am keen.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Yeah. Now, if you don't know, Mark's hats sort of like always steal the show. Don't get me wrong, Kev. Your effort is appreciated, mate. I do like the fact that you've incorporated the Mickey Mouse ears into it. You know, that's really cool.
Yeah. Well, Mark certainly puts more effort into his than I do.
Yeah, he makes videos of making hats now, which is just awesome. Yeah, that's it. Miss T says, I think it was Minnie Mouse who disliked. Yeah, I think it was Walt Disney himself from Beyond the Grave for this one.
I've gone and broke it.
You've broke it?
No.
Oh dear.
You ready for this?
Oh God. Wow. Darling.
There we go. What do you think? Tried to go with the Egyptian theme. Here we go.
Dude, that is crazy.
45 minutes, buddy.
What is this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, your hat, honestly.
Yeah,
that is awesome, mate.
I told you I gotta find a program that has a 5-step program for Aluminum's Anonymous. I think I've gone a little over the board with this stuff.
That is awesome, mate. I can't get over the effort that you put in. Do you keep all the old hats?
Oh no, I don't think I do. Unfortunately, that's why last time I did a video record of it.
He's even got that sort of like, yeah, man, like a cobra coming out of the front. Dude, that is insane. I can't get over how good that is.
Oh, Hugh at Asgard says I'd like to walk into a bar with Mark wearing that hat and watch what happens. No, I bet you people would stay away from me. I really do. Yeah. They just say, oh, crap, stay away from that dude.
Oh, blooming heck. Hello, Texas Life, Julie, and Miss T. I hope you're doing well. I am keeping a lot more on with the chat as we go along. And I do have many tabs queued up, ready to talk about some of the Disney conspiracy theories. Some of them will be not so much conspiracies, but more sort of like quite tangible sort of fan theories as well on some of the films. You know, and I hope you enjoy the stream. We're going to get going in a minute and start discussing some of these. Eagle VP is saying hello to a lot of people there. I nearly said, Eagle VP, how's it going, buddy? But I said hello to you earlier, so you've had enough for one stream, mate. That's it. I won't say hello again. How rude. How rude of me. Yeah, so before we start then, do you guys know of any Disney conspiracy theories?
Not really. If we're on about Frozen Walt, I think everyone's heard of that one.
I heard a few Nazi ones too.
Yes, well, that's the thing, innit? I don't actually have any information linking him to the Nazi Party or anything in front of me, but I do know that he was a supporter of the Nazis, apparently, and their, ideology. And I think he funded certain Nazi Party members and stuff as well. And they used to have visits all over, before the war and that broke out. The Nazi Party would actually visit the US quite regularly, and he was known to always try and get a meet up with them. We've got Dylan84 in the chat. That's me best mate of like 20 years now. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for joining us. I can't thank you enough. Absolutely spot on, dude. I don't think he makes videos or anything, as far as I know, but Dylan, do us a favour, mate, and just like subscribe to everybody in the chat. Please, mate. Right.
I do think I'm starting a new channel though, so it's going to be Foiled by Centroid. Just saying.
What? Just literally a channel dedicated to making tinfoil hats.
Yes.
Dude.
It's going to be trending. You watch.
That hat, honestly, mate, is amazing. I'm not kidding. That is insane. Right, I'm going to have to put mine on now because I am. My head's a little bit naked at the minute, so it's the same design as last week. It's a classic. I'm just trying to do it so it doesn't. There we go. It takes a bit of putting on, this thing. And this is called the Hive Mind. And it is solid tinfoil. This thing weighs a ton. That's why I've waited so long, nearly half an hour before I've even put it on, because you can see this is solid tinfoil, and it is very bad for the neck, which I have cricked. I'm going to keep bringing that up anyway, because if I have to take this off, I'm taking it off. I don't care. Yeah, that is very, very... Yeah, Miss T says, dang, yours looks heavy. It is very heavy. It's solid. Yeah, Miss T and Texas Life, Julie, you both have blue wrenches coming your way. Thank you for joining us. Excelente. Okay, so I'm just going to look through and find the most suitable sort of list that I've got on the go. Just looking for it now in the background. That's cool. There we go. Okay, so we'll start off then. I'm reading from an article called from a website called 17.com. I'm going to put that in the chat. I think it is aimed more towards teenagers, this magazine, but it comes up with some quite good, not so much conspiracy theories, but fan theories. I do want to skim over these because some of them are quite interesting at very least and, plausible at most. So I'm just going to look through to find some of the good ones, because there's a few specific things I want to talk about in Toy Story later, which are quite dark and sinister. But we'll start off from Emily from Toy Story. Do you remember Toy Story 2? Where there's what's her name? Jessie, the cowgirl, and she got abandoned, didn't she, by that girl? And then that's why she sort of like wanted to be in the museum and whatnot. And the theory goes that Emily from Toy Story 2, the girl that ditched Jessie the cowgirl, is actually Andy's mom. I've said mom, I don't know why, Andy's mom. Because I'm reading it from the article, you see. So I'll just sort of reel off this paragraph real quick. So it says... you may remember Jessie's owner, Emily, from Toy Story 2, and probably bawled when she dumped Jessie in the donation bin. I don't think that's how it went. She left her by the roadside in a box, didn't she? But it's possible she grew up to be Andy's mom. I'm going to say mum from now on. When Andy is playing with Woody in the original Toy Story, he's actually wearing a Jessie hat, not a Woody hat. Did he inherit the hat from his mum? And does he own those vintage toys because Emily's reliving her childhood via the Roundup gang? Also, Emily's childhood room decor was 1960s flower power, and Toy Story came out in 1995, which would make Emily in her 30s perfect age to have a 6-year-old kid, just saying. So what do you reckon to that one then? These aren't particularly dark theories, but they are sort of fan theories about the films. And it is always speculated who Emily actually was or is within the films. So, I mean, what do you reckon to that then?
I vaguely remember watching that movie. I don't really, I don't know. I never heard that one before, I suppose. I mean, there's a lot of character. I've been doing my homework this week. There's been a lot of character suppositions in a lot of movies, but that's one I never came across.
What do you reckon to that one, Kev?
I suppose it's possible. Who knows what they were thinking? It hadn't occurred to me prior to this, but it sounds feasible.
Okay, so we'll call that one plausible then. Like I say, these are just real quick ones I want to reel off before getting into the real sort of beef, if you know what I mean. But some of these films I am like a fan of from a young age and whatnot. Yeah, Miss T says, I didn't know that. First time hearing this one. Well, you're about to hear a whole lot more. Nikos Polski, you've just got a blue wrench coming your way. Why you don't have one already, I feel ashamed. I'm sorry, you have one now. That's cool. Like I say, always encouraged to check everybody else out in the chat. You know, all great channels that are in here. Great supporters, and I do bump into you all over the place as well. Everyone's active, which is very, 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 very good. Always in live streams, or always live streaming, always coming up with videos. You know how it is on YouTube, just trying to thrive and survive. You know what I mean? Always trying to grow. Okie dokie. So, before we carry on then, do you know of any other sort of weird Toy Story related theories? Because you know, I've got some articles in front of me, but I really want to talk about this right away, really, so I'm just going to. Do you know of any other sort of weird Toy Story theories or anything like that?
No.
Not on Toy Story.
You need to do your signature staring into the camera, Kev. Go on, give us that no.
Nope.
It's all out, you know what I mean? We'll start as we mean to go on. Okay, so one of them is that essentially the toys are brought to life. I'm not reading this from any article. This is from doing a bit of research recently. Essentially, the toys in Toy Story come to life purely by children's imaginations, right? Now, if you think that's a bit of a strange concept, essentially it is. Of course it is. It's a child's sort of fantasy film. But there is the trailer release for Toy Story 4. Now, I don't know if you've seen that. It involves all the toys going round, like in a circle, like a cinematic type thing. And essentially, it goes past and there's like a new character introduced, which is just like a plastic spoon, like a plastic spork, should I say, with some like, you know, that sort of fairy pipe cleaner that you get for arms. And essentially, it seems to be having like a bit of a crisis because he goes, oh, you know, I'm not a toy or something. But it is definitely alive and it's, you know, in the mix of these toys. So it is theorized now that essentially the way these toys come to life is purely by children's imagination. So what do you think to that then? We'll start with Mark. Do you think that's some sort of plausible?
Sure. I mean, it's all about imagination, I would think. I mean, you know, it is a child's fantasy cartoon, as you mentioned before. It's definitely something that one would think about. Sure, I'd go with that.
Yeah, well, essentially, just think about the implications that actually has. Because, you know, bearing in mind in Toy Story 3, Mr. Potato Head like gets pulled to pieces and he actually uses that fajita bread as a body, and he sticks all his parts into it and animates a fajita bread. Right? You've seen that bit, haven't you?
No, honestly, I don't remember seeing Toy Story 4. Kind of stopped after the second one.
Yeah, no, it was on Toy Story 3. So what's actually quite concerning is the fact that if it is children's imaginations bringing toys to life, essentially the film would then you'd have to assume that anything a child picked up to play with would come to life.
Mhm.
What do you reckon to that, Kev?
I could go along with it. I mean, you can if you push any of these to the limits, you're going to end up with it not making any sense. But yeah, it makes kind of sense to me.
Yeah. Now, what's actually quite disturbing is that the toys never seem to die either. Only if they're destroyed through crushing or incineration, essentially. So, another strange concept that you've got to think about is that these toys, unless destroyed, are going to outlive the owners, pretty much everybody on Earth, right? And be like the last surviving sort of sentient life forms, essentially.
Along with the cockroaches, sure.
Yeah. Which is very, very odd indeed, wouldn't you say?
Well, they are plastic, let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Now, I was reading this other article. I've done my research today. And essentially, one of them was a guy had posted a tweet, essentially, and he was watching Toy Story with his daughter. And she said, well, what if one of the toys dies? And obviously the kid doesn't know that the toys are actually alive. And she carries on playing with the toy, or he carries on playing with the toy or whatever, then that'd have to be horrific for the other toys, watching your friend's corpse being sort of manipulated into, like, playtime, you know, and having to deal with that on a daily basis, you know. And I was literally, like, howling. But then after a couple of minutes, it's sort of like the darkness of it actually sunk in. You know? that is very, very grim.
Steve, do you have a disclaimer on this channel for young ones watching it? You may be destroying their views of Disney at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what we do. We ruin things for people. Right?
Including the young ones, yes.
Yeah. Now, essentially, YouTube have put out a new... just going to go off topic real quick. YouTube have put out a new sort of statement saying that conspiracy theory videos won't be recommended or featured anymore. They're not going to be removing them, but essentially, unless you directly search for these videos, you won't come across them. They'll just be hidden, essentially, which is very, very irritating, because you think, who decides what's a conspiracy theory video and what's news? You know, a lot of conspiracy theories, like we covered last week, actually turned out to be true. So actually bringing that information forward as a conspiracy theory is a good thing, and why YouTube have decided to all of a sudden go, oh no, we don't like that, it's possibly fake news and all that lot, is absolutely baffling to me. So essentially, unless you know of this stream, I think they might have implemented it right away. So someone searching for, you know, general conspiracy theories or whatever, they're not going to see anything like this in the search results. Like, it'll be bumped below. Do you know what I mean? If you look for Disney conspiracy theories or anything like that, it won't come up with this stream anywhere near the top. It'd literally be like actual positive Disney videos, you know, just for an example, which is, I think that's a bit crap, really, don't you?
Yeah, it's all getting a bit controlling, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like YouTube's gotten a bit of a conscience, because they're even demonetizing people who have big channels with videos that might be a bit questionable. Like they're starting to demonetize like drone videos. Like there's one in particular where you're where someone teaches you how to unlock the red zone so you can fly in it, but they don't watch the video to understand that that's actually legal to do if you're doing commercial work.
Oh,
And so
yes.
they demonetized this person's video because it seems like he's making it so that people can go and fly in near airports or prisons just for the heck of it. You know, you got to go through a process to get that unlocked. It isn't it's not a hack by any stretch. But if they just took the time to watch some of these things, they'd realize it's actually not a bad thing. It's being done the right way. But it's just them going a little overboard.
Here's a funny thing for you though, because we like talking about flat Earth on here, don't we? Essentially, all flat Earth videos are going to have the same treatment as well. So anybody trying to push the flat Earth agenda is in for a bad time on YouTube.
I'm not going to lose sleep over that.
No. But what's worse is that it is actually YouTube's algorithm that's going to decide just automatically what constitutes a conspiracy theory video, which is, we all know how good YouTube's, algorithms are and how they work. So, good luck. You're probably going to start getting videos not promoted and stuff for probably even mentioning the word conspiracy in the video or on the stream, essentially, because the algorithm does do text-to-speech and it will run that through the algorithm. So for any videos you do from now on, if you don't want to get them pulled from the top recommended videos, don't use the word 9/11, conspiracy theories, terrorists, hijackings, Pentagon. Oh yeah. Oh, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. CNN and Fox, because they are always in YouTube videos for fake news and false reporting and that. Flat Earth, don't mention that. I'm literally seem to be just going out my way to get this video pulled, I think, at this point. Right, I'm going to try and catch up with the chat real quick. I'm just going to pad my hat down. As you can see, this thing is solid. I'm not messing. This is solid tinfoil, this hat. Okay, we've got Military Explorers in. Great to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. Finn, back in the chat, he asked me to post a link to his channel, one of his videos, should I say. I will get round to that, mate. I'm just going to try and catch up on the chat here. Military Explorers asks, what's everyone's favourite Disney film? I'll answer for Kev. It's The Lion King. Why do you like The Lion King so much, Kev?
Well, I just love the story. I love the way it looks. And I love the songs.
Yeah, Elton John did a great job on The Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What's your favourite Disney film?
I love the stage show as well. If just put that out there. If anyone gets the chance to see it, you really should.
Okay. Mark, what's your favourite Disney film, mate?
If I'm going to have to be pushed, I'd have to say Aladdin.
Aladdin?
Yeah.
Well, we have a few theories about Aladdin.
Yes, okay. I even watched one of those tonight.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did a little bit of homework this week.
Yeah. That's it. That's cool. Life of Redo says, Centroid, I think, is destroying our views of Disney. Our childhood is ruined. I think that the Toys as Corpses is a terrible one, isn't it, really? You'll never unsee that now. No.
Thanks, Steve.
No, that's all good. Yeah, that's all right. Gary Foster says there's all kinds of conspiracy theories about drones covered by mainstream media. Oh, tell me about it. And I've got a few of my own that I've concocted, and a lot of it's turned out to be true as well. Drone tread on me. Abandoned City Camo Crew says drone tread on me. Good person, can he have a blue wrench? And I actually giggled to myself because I did beat you to that, mate. I give him a blue wrench about 20 seconds before that comment came up. So I beat you to it on that one, mate. That's cool. Finn saying hello to everybody. Eagle VP is urging people to share the stream on the social media. Thank you very much, mate. That's much appreciated. I know that anything shared on like Facebook, you know, might get, say if it's seen by 100 people, you'll generally only get 1 or 2% of people who'll actually check the link for YouTube content, just from my own personal experiences. But it's always appreciated, you know, if you have quite a big Facebook following or Twitter, Instagram, you know, however it goes. I don't really use Instagram, you know. That's cool. Miss T asks, is your head hot, Steve? You got a toaster up there? My head is getting hot already and my neck's aching as well. I've got a crick in my neck, so at some point I might have to take this off. So don't crucify me in the comments if I have to take this off. Gary Foster's Brant Ariels asks, do I still believe in Australia? Yes, I still believe Australia is there. I don't think it's vanished. It was there all along. Yeah, it's not made up. Australian people aren't actors. And the Earth is very much spherical. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I think anyway. I'm not going to judge anybody who thinks differently. Yeah, Drone Obsessed says, great job getting yourself put on the list of shadow banned videos. Yes, indeed. Lauren Amy, my partner, is sat just off camera here, says, I always wanted the toys from Toy Story, not because they came to life in the film, but because there was really cool toys. Yeah. Talia says, Steve, read my fact about Winnie the Pooh up in the chat. I'm trying to catch that real quick. Oh, okay, yeah. The little boy has such a big mental condition, it's not really suspected from being a small kid watching it. Yeah, that'd be Christopher Robin, wouldn't it? What do you mean, Talia? Do you mean that he's essentially got mental issues and that's why he goes to, what's the name of the woods? The 100 Acre Wood. Yeah, I've never been a massive fan of... yeah, bearing in mind, babe, with these headphones on, I can barely hear anything you're saying. They're like proper noise cancelling, these ones. Canadian Drone Hub's in the house. Roger, I hope you're well, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. That's all good. I'm just trying to get through this chat. It's moving so quick. Thanks, everybody, for participating. That's cool. I'm just having a look through the chat. Miss T says, I like the old Disney, like The Little Mermaid and the first Lion King. Yeah, that was like the golden age of 2D sort of Disney, wasn't it? Really was, you know, the 90s, definitely. Eagle VP says, Steve, why you not commented on my museum film? I've been at work all weekend, mate, and, you know, on a Sunday, I generally just loaf about and do what I want. Monday is my get my bum back into gear day when I go through my notifications and go, you know, checking out all the great videos people have been doing, mate. So I will get round to it. I've not fell out with you, mate. Don't worry. For my neck. I know. I do like ripping the eagle a little bit. Is a cool dude though. I'm just trying to catch up on this chat. DJ Man Tony, how's it going, buddy? In Wales, watching in the background. Great to see you. That's cool. I think I'm catching up here. Drone Obsessed says, I'm getting to the point I dislike all Disney SJW bullcrap. Yeah, indeed. It does seem to be getting more towards that way, doesn't it? You know. Yeah, White Rose says, Steve, I think your popcorn's ready. Yeah, that does get brought up very often. What was your nickname for the hat, Mark? It was Jiffy Pop or something, wasn't it?
Yes, Jiffy Pop it was.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Yeah, just getting through there. Talia says, all the people have a disorder. Winnie the Pooh has an eating disorder. The pig has anorexia. The tiger... I'm just trying to work out what that has. Right. Oh, the tiger had ADHD. The donkey has depression. The little boy has schizophrenia. I don't know how to spell it. Yeah, and I could probably go into that in a bit more detail. Do you guys want to cover this in a bit more detail by any chance? Because I'm pretty much caught up on the chat now. So
I'll leave that one up to you, Craig, to start.
Oh, right, thanks. Yeah, I get the point here. I can see this. Certainly, Eeyore has always seemed to have depression. I hadn't really thought about the others very much.
I do believe Tigger has ADD. I'm not so sure though.
I'm not sure about the pig having anorexia. I'm not sure where that comes from.
Unknown.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I
okay.
mean, I guess one could say that he's supposed to be big and fat, and he's pretty thin for a piglet if you think about it. I guess that's where they get that from.
Yeah, yeah. And there is the Winnie the Pooh meme, isn't there, where essentially if you disagree with somebody on something or there's a popular issue that you don't agree with, there's Winnie the Pooh and he's holding like an axe, walking away from the dismembered body of Piglet, and essentially, you know, the caption usually reads like, "Shut up about so and so Piglet" or something like that. You know, it's quite a funny meme. Lauren Amy's sort of getting on my case off screen to read her comment. Winnie the Pooh was based on a real bear called Winnie in London Zoo that Christopher Robin met when he was a child with his dad. Thanks for the little nugget of information there, babe. That's cool. Yeah. Lauren Amy says he had a toy teddy bear and didn't know what to call him, so his dad said, "How about you call him Winnie the Pooh?" Life of Rido, Eeyore has seasonal depression and Kanga has anxiety. It is just like a showcase for all sorts of mental illnesses, isn't it, Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
That's cool. Miss T says the pig has a pot belly though. He's scary. The pig is. Yeah, that's all good. Willie Reed, I'm really sorry, mate. I keep missing you in the chat there. A blue wrench is coming your way, mate. And then everybody in the chat is all on a level playing field. That's cool. Canadian Drone Hub. I'll tell you what, if you haven't checked out Canadian Drone Hub, whether you like drones, chilling out, you know what I mean, just chatting, meeting great people. Awesome channel. It's done the world of good for my channel, and I'm sure thousands of people's channels, you know, and is recently at 1.8k subs as well. So congratulations on that, mate. You are growing really fast at the minute. I remember it one moment ago, I was saying congratulations on the 1.7. That was only a few weeks ago, I believe. That's cool. Lauren Amy, the name Pooh came from a goose that him and his dad saw. And his dad saw how he was playing with his toys, and the dad wrote stories about him. And Disney came along and changed it all. Well, that's what Disney does. Yeah. You know, a lot of the Disney classics are actually stories from the Brothers Grimm, which are actually very, very, very dark stories. And I actually have a list of those here. So, you know, are you guys happy going into some of the original Brothers Grimm tales and how Disney adapted them into the films that they are today?
I think it should be pointed out that they were sanitized before Disney ever got hold of them, though. I mean, the original stories are really quite
dark.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So we'll start off then. I'm on on a website called All That's Interesting. I'm going to post a link in there because, you know, I always make sure that I link the websites that I'm reading from to make sure that they get the exposure that they deserve. That's cool, and you can check them out yourself. Bits that I'm missing out and whatnot. So we'll start off then with Pinocchio, and I'm going to read directly from the article, and then we'll have a little discussion about it afterwards. So this is what the article says: when people visualize Pinocchio, they see the sweet young puppet with a desire to be a real boy. The Disney movie tells the tale of his adventures with his friend and advisor Jiminy Cricket, and how they ultimately lead him to his dream of becoming human. The original creator of Pinocchio, Carlo Collodi, was hoping for a different image. Collodi created the character for a serial story in Italian newspapers with a goal of showing kids the consequences of being bad. Collodi's Pinocchio was cruel and mischievous. His Jiminy Cricket was only referred to as Talking Cricket, and when the cricket tried to give Pinocchio some good advice, the puppet boy killed him with a mallet. That's cool. Pinocchio is constantly tortured in different ways throughout the story, all punishment for bad behaviour. Collodi initially ended the tale with Pinocchio's death by hanging, but because of an outcry from fans, Collodi was forced to continue. So he decided Pinocchio's life would be spared in exchange for even more gruesome punishments from that point forward. Now, that sounds like an awesome children's writer. So what's your thoughts on that then, guys?
Well, like I said, these stories, I think we know these stories were pretty gruesome originally. They were meant to frighten.
Yeah, man. Mark, you got anything to add on that, mate, before I jump into another one?
Yeah, the older stories are a bit more gruesome, just because of what Craig said. That's my humble opinion. Is that it's just to frighten the children, either to stay out of trouble or to behave properly, or whatever the case is. So, back then we weren't so sensitive to the to how children felt about certain things. So anything went.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we're a bit softer on them.
So next up then. Is Sleeping Beauty. I'm going to read that in a second. I'm just going to say hello to Old Guy in a Drone. Awesome, mate. Great to see you. So next up then, I'm going to read this article then. I did post a link to it before, but as I read it out, I'm going to keep posting the link to it so you can read it at your own leisure if you like. So Sleeping Beauty then, original story. Original article, should I say. Disney's Sleeping Beauty is a classic tale of a princess in distress and the prince who comes gallantly to her rescue. The original 17th century Italian tale has similar beginnings. The princess, named Talia, pricked her finger on a spindle and was sent into a deep sleep, fulfilling an earlier prophecy. The rest of Talia's story is too gruesome to be a child's tale. The man who came to Talia's rescue is a king, not a prince. The king's kiss did not awake Talia. He instead gathers the fruits of her love, which is a nicer way of saying he had his way with her while she slept. 9 months later, she gave birth to twins, and one of them sucked the splinter from her finger, waking her up. Talia and the king fall in love, but the king is still married. His queen orders the twins to be kidnapped, cooked, and fed to the unknowing king. Luckily, she fails. The moral of the story was, lucky people, so 'tis said, are blessed by fortune whilst in bed.
Wow.
Way to brighten up your Sunday afternoon, folks.
That's a heck of a way to have a happy ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I even had to change some of the words in that, in the article itself there, as I went along. Just to make sure that it was, all ages friendly, essentially. That's the name of my my little sister, Talia.
Yeah, she doesn't like that.
Yeah, I'm changing my name, she says. Yeah, that's all good. I'm really looking forward to seeing you on next Sunday, Talia. I really am. Anyway, any thoughts on that? Do you reckon these stories can get much grimmer than that? Do you reckon?
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, we can. Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, just to piggyback on that, one of the conspiracies I read about or watched earlier is they claim that I think it's the witch in Snow White, or excuse me, Sleeping Beauty. I think it was Sleeping Beauty. One of those turns out to be the mother in, I think it was Frozen.
Tangled,
one of them,
I think.
Tangled, that's it, Tangled.
Yeah.
So they claim that she has not died and she resurfaces as the evil stepmother or mother in Tangled. That's right. So I'm sorry, I got my Disney movies mixed up, but interesting how they try to perpetuate some of these characters, or some people think they are perpetuated.
Yeah. So next up, then we'll do Cinderella. I'm going to repost the article I'm reading from. Paste that in there. Excellent. Black-Eyed Shorty, great to see you. Raising 7 Munchkins, I hope you're both doing really well. Thanks for joining us. Currently working through the original Brothers Grimm stories and how they were turned into what is now today the Disney classics, essentially. So I'm reading from an article. I've just put that in the chat. So next up then, Cinderella. I'm reading directly from the article on that website that I've posted. So when Disney's Cinderella 2 came out in 2002, it turned out that Cinderella's evil stepsisters weren't as evil as they were shown in the first film. One of them, Anastasia, was even featured having her own love interest with a baker, a relationship encouraged by Cinderella. The fate given to the stepsisters by the brothers Grimm was not so forgiving. In that fairy tale, the two girls cut off different parts of their feet in an attempt to fit into the slipper. Some doves swooped in to show the prince the blood on the shoe so he would not be fooled. At the end of the story, the stepsisters attend Cinderella's wedding, only to have their eyes pecked out by the doves who had betrayed them earlier. Wow. I'm learning something new today.
Yeah, the Brothers Grimm had fun with that one.
There are other versions of this story.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In one of the other versions, the punishment of the sisters is to be forced to dance to death on a red-hot metal plate.
Oh, crikey. Now, just going off on a little bit of a tangent then, have you ever heard of the dancing plague of the medieval times? Just on a mad tangent.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, this happened in an English village, I believe, and there's noteworthy accounts of it happening all around the world. It seemed to be essentially during the medieval times. What happened was someone had just started dancing in the street for no apparent reason, and then people had just started joining in. And before you know it, the entire village is dancing for days on end, no sleep, not eating, and to a point where, you know, they're actually bringing in musicians and everything, hoping that they could just get them to dance for so long they'll just tire themselves out. But people are actually dying dancing in the street. You ever heard of this?
I don't think so.
No,
I've never heard of that one either.
No, honestly. Yeah, I'll save a bit more. I'll look up some more information about that, and I'll save that for next Sunday. But I just wanted to bring that up essentially. While we was on the topic of dancing to death, it just sort of sparked that in my mind. That's all good. So, Cinderella then, gruesome. Any thoughts to add before I move on to the next one? Oh, there's some baddies. I'm just scrolling through now, and there's about 4 more to read through. Oh no, there's 3 of them, and they seem to get increasingly more gruesome. So any final thoughts then on Cinderella, or any other information you can add? I'll start with Kev on that.
I don't have any more. I don't think. No.
Oh.
I'm sure there's plenty to read though if you search on the internet.
Oh yes, okay. Bear in mind, some of these tales aren't Brothers Grimm, but they do seem to have either influences or inspired by some of the stories, the originals anyway. So the next up, we've got The Little Mermaid, and I know Talia asked for this, so I'll read the article out. I've just posted the link again. In Hans Christian Andersen's version of the tale, Ariel makes a deal with the Sea Witch in order to become a human and pursue the prince she saved in a shipwreck. She gets a pair of legs in exchange for her tongue. However, in part of the deal is that every step she takes with this new pair of legs will feel like walking on shattered glass. If Ariel gets her true love's kiss, she can remain a human, but if she fails, she will die. The prince never actually saw Ariel's face when she saved him, so he ends up marrying somebody else. The Sea Witch tells Ariel she can just turn back into a mermaid instead of dying if she kills the prince. Instead, Ariel cannot bring herself to do that. In dark Disney fashion, she throws herself into the ocean and dissolves into sea foam.
Wow. That was Hans Christian Andersen? He wrote that version?
That version, yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
he must have been in league with Brothers Grimm on that one.
These tales are really grim, aren't they? They're absolutely shocking. And like I say, I had a skim read of this article earlier, and I haven't read it all. And I'm shocked as I'm reading it out to you. So, we're all as surprised as you who's watching, basically. Okay, so that one is particularly terrible. So I think everybody knows just how tragic even the Disney version of Bambi is. Every kid's still haunted by the, spoiler alert here. So if you haven't watched the film Bambi yet, please put your fingers in your ears or mute me for a second. Everybody knows how bad the ending is of Bambi, the Disney film, where his mother gets shot by a hunter and is wandering through the fog shouting for his mum. Yeah, absolutely terrible, but apparently the original's even worse. So I'll read the article then. Bambi, A Life in the Woods, is a novel following a deer through his life growing up in the woods. Though Disney took this adult novel and turned it into a heartwarming Disney film, the book touches on the circle of life, survival, and man versus nature, etc. The book is also very violent. On Bambi's first walk into the woods, he witnessed a moose get killed and heard creatures threatening each other with death. Later, after a hunter shoots Bambi and another deer, the great old prince teaches him to walk in circles and spread the blood so the hunter gets confused. The great prince also showed Bambi the body of a dead hunter at the end of the story to prove that man is not all powerful. Wow.
That's an original Bambi, huh?
Yeah, that's the original Bambi.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah. I think I need to read that. It sounds fairly entertaining.
Yeah. As an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. As an adult, yeah, I wouldn't recommend kids read that version. Yeah, so that one's particularly grim. I've got two more to read off, and then we're going to go into some other styles of theories. Yeah, go on, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things I did catch earlier in viewing some of this stuff has to do with Bambi and the motivation. There's a pattern of mother guilt in a lot of the Disney movies, and Craig, you might attest to it because they actually talked about Lion King in that because I guess his mother died in there. Apparently, Walt Disney, when he was making the money he was making, he actually bought his parents a brand new house, and apparently the furnace was not installed properly, and as a result there was a gas leak which wound up killing his mother, and he's always blamed himself for that. And as a result, that's the theory or the conspiracy, is that there's a lot of this guilt built into some of these movies because of that, and his feeling that it was his fault that he bought this house that wasn't properly put together, particularly the furnace, and as a result his mother died. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's particularly tragic. Kev, you got anything to add on that, mate?
Just adding to that, it's actually his father in The Lion King, but
okay. Well, there was something to that effect. So
yeah, but there are others that.
Yeah. Now here's the original ending to The Lion King, the way it was meant to go.
Okay.
And I'm not reading this from an article, but this is the way the original ending was meant to go. Essentially, at the end of Lion King as we know it, Simba, adult Simba, returns to, face off against Scar for exiling him when he was younger and killing his dad. And a fight breaks out on Pride Rock, and Simba ends up throwing Scar off of Pride Rock, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which is where the film ends, all happily ever after, whatever. The hyenas go away, and the Pride Lands are back to their former glory. The way the film was initially meant to end was that Scar actually kills Simba, but while he's celebrating the death of Simba, he don't realise how bad the fire at Pride Rock's got and ends up dying in the fire too.
All right.
That was the original ending that was rewritten. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so you can just imagine how different of a film it'd be with that ending.
Yeah.
But I think they probably thought, that'll either upset people or, if it makes it as a big film, we're going to want sequels, which they did, just churned out sequels after the first Lion King, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like, just straight to DVD sequels. So that's the original ending of The Lion King. I thought I'd share that with you. That's all good. So next up then, and we know this one's going to be very grim, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, so I'm going to read the article. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is one of Disney's darker films. Like the novel it's based off, the movie is about a hunchback named Quasimodo who grew up in Notre Dame Cathedral, raised by an archdeacon named Frollo. Quasimodo and Frollo both fell in love with the same woman, Esmeralda. At the end of the film, Quasimodo pushed Frollo, the villain, off the roof of the cathedral, killing him. It's already uncharacteristically morbid for Disney, but the original novel by Victor Hugo has an even worse ending for the protagonists. In Hugo's story, Frollo framed Esmeralda for attempted murder and she was sentenced to be hanged. Quasimodo still pushed Frollo off the roof, but it was because Frollo was laughing at Esmeralda's hanging. Quasi then goes to Esmeralda's grave and refuses to leave her, so he ultimately dies of starvation. Hugo's book did not end happily for anyone. Oh, I have to giggle just how bloody grim these are. This is making me bloody depressed reading these out. You know, all them Disney classics, blooming hell, I'm ruining them for everybody. Yeah. So thoughts on that then? Go on, Kev.
This was a strange one for Disney to do, though, because I mean, this isn't a fairy tale, is it?
No.
I mean, the earlier film versions of this are kind of gothic horrors, so it's not quite the same thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, Mark, you got anything to add, mate? And I've got one more to go.
Just to tag on to Craig's, what he said is, it seems that Disney is trying to put a positive spin on these things. I don't know. Trying to take something familiar and just put a twist for kids as opposed to adults. So I don't. It's all to make money as far as I'm concerned from their perspective. But whatever it is, it worked.
Yeah. Okay. So the last one then I've got is Snow White. Okie dokie. So I'm going to read the article. I'm going to redo that. That's cool. Gil Skills has just come in. I hope you're doing well, buddy. It's great to see you. Instantly, blue wrench for you, buddy. Instantly. I think I've missed a couple of other people in the chat. If you haven't got a blue wrench yet, please put something in the chat and I'll catch up with you. I am trying to juggle conversation, reading these articles, getting them arranged, and the chat, So, if I'm missing out, then blue wrenches, just let me know. So next up then, we've got Snow White. So this is directly from the article I just posted. It's the last one of these original stories versus Disney versions of the stories. Snow White still gets her happily ever after in the original Brothers Grimm fairy tale. After the evil queen failed 2 attempts to personally kill Snow White, she finally decided to try out the poison apple. It seemed to work, but then the prince swooped in with the true love's kiss to save her. At the end of the dark Disney story, in the end of this dark Disney story, Snow White and the prince are still married. However, the evil queen is at the wedding, and her punishment is that she has to dance around in iron-hot shoes, burning her feet until she dies. Even princesses get their revenge.
It looks like I may have got my fairy tales mixed up.
Yeah, well, it's all good. Yeah. Yeah,
I always thought it was Cinderella.
Yeah, it's all good, but let me know in the chat if you've enjoyed hearing them originals, and if you like them that much, I'll see if I can find some more for the next stream. That's cool. So next up, then, I want to go into a little bit of Toy Story. Okay, so we've got a link I'm going to post for you that you can check out yourself, just to make sure that no one can say I'm directly reading anything and not giving credit where credit's due. This is an article written in Metro halfway through 2018. Mrs. T, I enjoyed it. More. Yeah, I'll have some more ready for next week, okay? Okay, I'm going to read it directly, and obviously this is going to cover something that I did cover a little bit ago. Okay, so I'm reading it direct. Toy Story is not only a masterpiece, it's a treasure trove for fan theories. There's the theory that the older toys in Andy's possession were left to him by his father, who died of a polio-related illness, a theory that was debunked. There's the plausible idea that the little girl who owned Jessie in that soul-destroying sequence in Toy Story 2 is Andy's mother. There's the theory that Andy's parents are actually going through a divorce, hence why he's missing in all the films. And there's an argument that Sid became a garbage man so he could save broken toys from the trash. After Toy Story 1, and they sort of call him out, don't they, and scare the poo out of him, as it were. That's cool. Yeah, and here's that tweet that I was saying about. on the article that I was saying about before. For anybody new in, they probably want to hear this one anyway. I do want to ruin Toy Story for everybody. And his tweet says, "My daughter just ruined Toy Story forever. She said if one of the toys died, Andy wouldn't know and he'd carry on playing with its corpse."
Oh. That's brilliant.
That is yeah, that's really crazy, that. Yeah, and it says, "Sorry we had to share that. It's so we can revel in the misery of others." Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's it. I'm just sort of skimming through. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, even theories that counteract this idea, which will remind you came from the imagination of a child, are pretty grim. One popular Toy Story theory on the internet is that unless they are crushed or incinerated, the toys are immortal and can't die of old age. This means they'll live forever until the end of humanity, outliving every owner they've ever had. So, obviously, there's quite a bit to take in there. We'll start with Kev then. What you got to chip in with that, mate? Anything that interests you?
Not really, and none of those things had ever occurred to me. So
now you see, the thing is, no one will watch Toy Story the same ever again.
Nope.
Will they?
Nope.
No, because you'll always be thinking, what if one of the toys dies?
Yeah. How do you know it's dead? You're just playing with the dead thing.
Now,
Go figure.
this isn't necessarily a conspiracy theory, but it is believed that in Toy Story 4, one of the main toys is going to die because of an interview with the voice actor for Buzz Lightyear. I can't remember his name, but he actually said in an interview there was a few scenes that he was recording that were really tough to get through. And he can't reveal any more details, but he said the entire cast was in tears, basically. Yeah. And
Tim Allen, isn't it?
Pardon?
Tim Allen,
Tim.
the actor.
Tim
Buzz,
Allen.
Yeah, Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I've lost me train of thought on that one now. Yeah, it is theorised that one of the toys is going to die, and not only that, there's artwork released with the Toy Story 4 logo, with Woody sort of walking away, looking back, sort of tipping his hat as if he's saying goodbye to everybody. So there's all sorts of theories bouncing around at the minute that Woody could die in Toy Story 4, which I don't know if you could actually do that to Woody in Toy Story, because he is the face of Toy Story alongside Buzz Lightyear, isn't he? It wouldn't be the same without Woody. Okay, so what do you reckon? Is there any truth to that, do you reckon? The theory that one of the main characters is going to die in Toy Story 4 at some point? What do you reckon, Mark?
Somebody's got to go.
It's been far too long without a death, God damn it.
Well, I mean, my thought of a conspiracy is the fact that it's all about making money, and they're going to get people to watch that just to see who dies.
Yeah. Drone Obsessed, I'm just going to catch up with the chat real quick. Says, because of you guys, I started looking into some conspiracies. Wow. Trump, time travelers, flat earth, moon landing hoax, etc. I'm so confused. Yeah, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories, and a lot of them do contradict each other as well. So it's all about just trying to get to the bottom of the truth, and I don't know if that's completely possible just using the internet alone, because there's always somebody who's going to go, that's wrong, that's fake, something along them lines. Okay, so Country Cycle Cam says, I ran into issues. I'm assuming he means Toy Story. I ran into issues when Sid in the first movie was Frankenstein in toys. Do parts or only the whole live on? What part of the toy carries the life? Well, that's What would it be? The head?
The soul.
Yeah.
What carries the soul? Oh man.
Yeah. Well, some of them were Frankenstein, weren't they, from two or multiple different toys. So would them consciousnesses combine, or would each part still remain the original consciousness? I don't know, but that does.
I'm actually gonna have to go into therapy after this, because you brought back some memories of me growing up with toys, and very few of them survived me and fireworks. So I think I've destroyed and killed many souls and not even realized it now. Oh Lord.
Yeah, Sid from Toy Story was based on you.
Oh,
Sounds like it.
that's why I think I stopped watching.
Below me neck. Yeah, White Rose says, you know, heading off. Catch you all later. I wish you all the best, and you know, with your, you know, stalker situation and that, I hope that gets a lot better for you. I'm Hook TV. Hello, guys. I just hit the thumbs up. I'm new here. Great to see you, buddy. And I have bumped into you a few times before. You know, I know I'm sub to you as well. Great to see you, buddy. And as we do for people who I know are absolutely sound, so no one can remove your comments or whatever, there's the blue wrench. That's cool. Anything else that you guys want to talk about on this article? Because obviously I did cover quite a lot in one quick burst there about Toy Story, and this is quite fascinating to me at the minute. Do you have anything to add as we're going through this?
No, not for
Nope.
me.
Nope. Okie dokie. Here's a good one then, another Toy Story related one. That Toy Story 3 is an analogy for the Holocaust. Right? Okay. Okay, so yeah. Keep up with me here. I'm posting the link to an article on Mental Floss with, I think it's like 10 or so different Toy Story conspiracies. I'm going to read this out. Film theorist Jordan Hoffman has noted many parallels between the journey of the toys in the film with the victims of the Holocaust. For example, Buzz Lightyear recommends they hide in an attic, as Anne Frank and her family did. Sunnyside Daycare could represent a work camp. Also, the toys view being thrown away as a constant threat, which would result in them being burned alive. This one has been previously investigated here at Mental Floss. We learned that Toy Story 3 director Lee Unkrich once said, "The Holocaust was never anything that was discussed in the making of Toy Story 3. But I have heard the Toy Story 3 Holocaust theory before. What do you reckon to that, Kev? Let's hear it, mate.
Well, I'd never heard it before, and I don't know. I think you can read anything into what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, mate.
It was just a Toy Story film to me, you know.
Yeah. I've only heard no a few times from you, Kev. So you know what I mean. You're gonna have to up your game a little bit on that. You know.
Yes, the copyrighted no.
Yeah. Miss T says that's a whole roll of foil, Steve. I can tell, maybe 2. It's actually 4 rolls of foil. Yeah, and it's solid. And like I say, my neck is killing me. I cracked my neck earlier, so I'm going to have to take this hat off, unfortunately, because that feels so much better on my neck. My neck aches even without the hat on. I know that's the only thing with these tinfoil hats. They get so sweaty, don't they? Look, my hair is soaking. Look, it's gross. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get like a drill bit or something and puncture a load of breathe holes in this. Yeah, that's not very good. Look, it's a bit nasty in there. I'm putting this down. If my neck feels a bit better in a bit, I'm gonna put it back on. But I can't say in any capacity that I am gonna put it back on. But yeah. Hello, Ricky Dove. I hope you're well, buddy. Saying hello to everybody in the chat. And, you know, once again, like I do, you know, there's new people in since the start of the stream. You know, check everybody out who's here. If you like the videos, if you see the stream often, you think, I like the look of them videos, subscribe. You know, you don't have to, but it's the way we all grow. It's the way we network and meet new people. Yeah. Drone Obsessed says, make a little vent fan with a LiPo. That's not a bad idea. My mate has got loads of desktop PC fans, so I might have to incorporate them into the hat, you know, with a little, little battery attached to it, like, you know, just to, yeah. So if we're done with the Holocaust theory of Toy Story 3, we'll move on to the next Toy Story one if you want.
How about it?
Yeah.
So next one is Toy Story 3 has Marxist undertones. This theory also comes from Jordan Hoffman. In this interpretation, Andy stands in for the bourgeoisie. He comes from a rich family, is moving on to higher education and is obsessed with his belongings. Therefore, his toys are the proletariat. The most compelling argument here is probably that Andy puts literal labels on his toys, which is a symbol of exploitation. Hoffman also claims that Barbie represents Marxist philosopher Rosa Luxemburg. Presumably, he believes this to be the case because of Barbie's line, authority should derive from the consent of the governed, not from the threat of force. What do you reckon to that? I think that's more of a general statement than a conspiracy theory. But do you think that does constitute Marxist undertones? Go on, Mark. Let's hear it, mate. Sorry,
I think that's walking the line. It's pushing it a bit. I think you can read into this stuff and twist it any way you want. As far as it being Marxist undertones, I don't know. I don't think it was planned that way.
Yeah.
But I guess if you really, really wanted to push it, maybe you could make an argument for it. But I don't see it.
Okie dokie. What do you reckon, Kev, to that?
Yeah, I'm with Mark on this. You know, I don't believe for 1 minute it was intended that way. But as I said earlier, you can read whatever you like into these stories.
Yeah. Okay.
In the end, I think they sat down and they wrote a Toy Story with a bit of threat in it, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
The usual recipe, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Drone Tread on Me says, how about the conspiracy that a Windows 10 laptop running 4K doesn't play well with an old 1080p external monitor? I can't really tell if he's being serious or not with that. Is that just personal experience, mate? Yeah, Mrs. T, I'll agree that the Marxist undertones. It's more of a statement. It could be true, but it's a little far-fetched. Now, this is the thing with conspiracy theories. A lot of the evidence that's linked to things does tend to be tenuous, doesn't it? That is my sort of key word on this stream. And, so far I've not said my catchphrase, because I've not had the opportunity to. But I will get round to it at some point, Oh,
you mean the hybrid thing?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeedio. Yeah. So next one up then is Toy Story 3 contains Illuminati messages. Okay, here's another one. I'm still reading from that same article. Was that a sigh of like, what the hell's going on with this stream there, Kev?
No, not really.
No, it sounds like why.
It was a definite sigh. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why do I agree to go on this stream with him? Okay, so. The internet and Illuminati conspiracy theories go together like Mr. Big and like Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, or else there probably wouldn't be extensive blogs dedicated to the Illuminati's connection to Boy Meets World. Conspiracy theorists who write about the Illuminati usually focus on the secret society's power to influence the United States. In the film, Lotso supposedly represents the Illuminati in their manipulation. For example, he brainwashes Buzz Lightyear into becoming a spy. One line about Lotso in particular stands out to these theorists, and that is, open quote, "He's made us into a pyramid and he put himself on top," close quote. This is interpreted as a reference to the pyramid and eye symbol that represents the Illuminati. What do you reckon? It is tenuous, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's put it mildly.
Yeah. Kev, what do you reckon, mate? Illuminati in Toy Story, what do you reckon? They're all over it, aren't they? Illuminati, they're everywhere, according to some conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
There it is.
No. There it is.
There
it is.
I can't even be bothered to come up with any reason why.
The only thing I can come up with is they made a supposed connection between Disney and what is it, the Freemasons. That's about the only, supposedly there's some club that is exclusive that is part of the Freemasons, and they have secret meetings at Disney and all this kind of stuff. But that's only hearsay. That's just one of the little things I picked up in my passing. But as far as the Illuminati,
Oh, no, you'd be surprised. Actually, what you're talking about there is the Club 33 that's located at Disneyland. Florida, I believe. And
Yep.
this is confirmed to exist by Disney themselves. Essentially, it's a $25,000 sort of like golden handshake, membership fee, and it's
I think they've upped it to 100,000 from what I saw. But
yeah, and there's a yearly upkeep fee for your membership as well. Of what I read, it was $12,500 a year just to stay in the club. So when you're at Disneyland, there's this really plain looking door with just a 33 written next to it, and essentially if you're in Disneyland and you got membership, you can go in, and it's like a VIP area, for like super rich and important people to go in, have a few drinks, and chat to each other, and don't want to deal with the peasants outside, basically. Putting it nicely there. Miss T says that's true. Yeah, Club 33 is confirmed to exist, which is very, very strange that Disney would do that. You'd think they'd put that off site, wouldn't you, really? If it's going to be some top secret club, where only the super rich can get in. And apparently there's a 10 to 15 year waiting list to get in as well. So even if you apply and put your money forward, you're still waiting for a long time before you can get in. Probably to do like a 10 or 15 year sort of like vetting process just to make sure that the right people are getting in, to be fair. Lauren Amy says, Disney said it themselves in Frozen, where Princess Anna's mum and dad dies. They get stranded on an island and have Tarzan. They get killed by that cheetah.
Tarzan's a prince.
Yeah, and that's the thing, innit? A lot of the Disney films, fan theories sort of link them together, don't they?
It's not a fan theory.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another one which is slightly morbid, I'd say. Morbid seems to be the theme of the night, doesn't it? This one is Aladdin takes place in a post-apocalyptic future. Okay, so I'm going to read the article from the Huffington Post, which I'm going to link in the chat right here. Boosh, just so everyone's getting the right links to what I'm reading from. And this one states, Disney has led people to believe that Aladdin takes place in the past, but what if that is not true? A popular theory states that Aladdin is set in the future, and it can be proven by a handful of hints dropped by the genie in the film. When the genie is giving Aladdin a makeover, he declares that his fez and vest combo is much too third century. Also, the genie announces it has been locked in the lamp for 10,000 years. This means that Aladdin is set in the year 10,300 at its earliest. Aladdin taking place in the future can explain why there are so many magical elements in the movie, like the flying carpet. Apparently, advanced technology had been hidden in the Cave of Wonders because people wanted to keep it safe from the nuclear war that turned the world into a big empty desert. There is an alternative theory, and it states that Aladdin takes place in the past because Belle is reading a book about him in Beauty and the Beast. Another theory claims that the entire story of Aladdin is made up by the merchant in the beginning of the film because he's trying to sell you an old lamp. And also, I remember in the Aladdin video game from many, many years past, there's actually a desert level there, and there's actually modern day like road stop signs in the middle of the desert in the Aladdin game, which makes very little sense as to why they'd be there unless it was like a post-apocalyptic desert, basically, that used to be a city. So what do you reckon to that then, guys? Do you reckon it's way in the past or way in the future, post-apocalyptic style? I'll start with Kev on that one.
It's a 20th century Disney film with 20th century humour in it and satire. That's all it is. It's a story that's set in the past, possibly made up by the Tinker at the end, at the beginning of it. Sorry, I can go with that one.
Okay.
But post-apocalyptic? No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay then. Mark, what do you reckon, mate?
I'm going to keep this simple. I'm with Craig's on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got someone new in the chat, Neshi33. greetings, mate. Kieran sent him over from Abandoned City. You know, thank you very much, Abandoned City. You're bringing new people to my channel. It's much appreciated, mate. You know, great channel. You know, check out Abandoned City. Does explorations of old military sites and historic locations. I love it. You know what I mean? Proper FPV. Great to see you, mate. I'm getting a lot of great channels in tonight. I'm absolutely loving it, and I appreciate everybody who's here. Even if you just drop in, you know, and give me a like and say hello. You know, always much appreciated. Any engagement is very much appreciated, you know. So that's excelente. Okay, so do you want to know the original ending to Aladdin then, the way it was rewritten?
Go for it.
Obviously, at the end of the film in Aladdin, Jafar's been defeated by Aladdin. You know, he marries the princess. I can't remember her name. It's Princess Jasmine, innit? That's the one. And they all live happily ever after until... I think there was Aladdin sequels, wasn't there? I think there was. Yeah, I'm sure there was.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
There's at least 2.
Yeah. Essentially, the way the film was meant to end was that essentially the narrator at the start of the film, that guy with the turban on, who actually sings the opening theme tune, Arabian Nights, essentially, at the end of the film, it's revealed that he was the genie all along, and that basically is just like made up the story as just like an old legend, basically, you know, of or speaking about the past when he met Aladdin. The details about what he talks about are a bit sketchy, but the genie actually reveals himself, and he is the narrator from the beginning. Hence why they're voiced by the same voice actor, which would be Robin Williams, and also he wears a blue top, like a blue robe, which is the exact same colour as the genie's, because they only changed it sort of towards the final few edits where they didn't include that bit at the end of the film. Yeah, so that's interesting to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've definitely done my research on this one. That's cool there. So if anybody didn't know that, you know, put in the chat, you know, thanks for the heads up. Thanks for ruining all these Disney films for me, especially Toy Story. Yeah, sorry about that. That's all cool. So next up then, we've got Up, you know, the Disney film Up, with Pixar film, where it's the old bloke in it, and he sort of recounts tales of his youth and how his wife talk about travelling and all that lot. Yeah, Life of Redo. Sorry, mate, I cricked my neck earlier, and that hat weighs a bloody ton. I'm not kidding. It's four rolls of tinfoil, and it's yeah, and it's my neck's killing me. It's killing me without the hat on, so I've took it off. Yeah, yeah. So the film Up then, you know, I'll start, and this is from another website. You know, I'm willing to bet these are getting some good exposure from me today. Posting the link in there. And this reads, Cal from Up died at the beginning of the film. You know, poses an interesting theory on the Pixar film Up. Basically, you know, this Pinterest user thinks that Cal died in his sleep after he was told he had to leave the house he shared with his beloved Ellie to go to a retirement home. The rest of the film is his journey to the afterlife, with Russell playing his guardian angel, trying to get his wings, or final badge. Russell took the form of a child because of Ellie and Cal's desire to have a baby early in their lives. Paradise Falls signifies heaven, and hopefully Cal found Ellie and they're living happily ever after, and now we're crying, damn you Pixar, it says. And of course, Up ends with Cal and Russell going back to the city, where Cal shows up to see Russell be named a senior employee. So this theory doesn't really hold up unless you believe that all those scenes after Cal and Russell get back to the city are actually taking place in heaven. So that's another one that's very, very tenuous, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that noise, please?
Who are you talking to?
I don't know.
I heard it, but it's not here.
Yeah.
No, that was my wife sharpening a pencil.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, tell her to stop.
Stop sharpening pencils. Yeah, yeah. They heard it. She
Yeah.
goes, they heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a beastly machine, but it does a good job.
Yes. That's all right. I didn't mean to be so rude.
No, that's fine. I think
Yeah.
it's hysterical. It's no problem.
Stop it! Stop it! Yeah, okay. So, yeah, like I say, that one sort of disproves itself, doesn't it, basically?
Yeah.
So the next one is in The Lion King, and this one's titled, from the same article, right there. I'm going to post that in there. Same article. While I'm here, Neshi33, great to meet you, mate, before I go on to the next, whatchamacallit, on to the next piece of the article. New sub from me, buddy. There it is, and a blue wrench coming your way. Spot on, mate. Great to meet you, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of you, mate. So, Gary Foster's Brant Ariel says that bastard with the balloons is the guy who flew over Gatwick. Yeah, notice how I removed the A there from the swear word to get away with it. Yeah, Mrs. T says, Lion King, get off Mufasa too. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Centroid says, sorry for the yawns, long weekend, not the show, having a good time. Yeah, mate, I believe you, mate. You're only in it to strut your stuff in them sexy tinfoil hats, aren't you?
Give you the profile just to... There we go, okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's all I'm here for.
Can you give us a 360?
Want a 360? Yes.
Yeah.
I go all the way with this crap.
Whoa. You don't scrimp. Have you bought them shares in tinfoil yet?
No, but oddly enough, this one took half a box less than the last one.
Really?
And I believe there's definitely a difference in foil. I'm gonna go into that in my new channel that I'm gonna put on YouTube. So I have my thoughts about tinfoil and the bargain brands versus the name brands. Sure, I've learned a little bit.
Now, the thing is, for the next Sunday stream with the the conspiracies and whatnot, I'm actually gonna work on an original pre-roll just for that particular stream, where I'm gonna do a load of mocked up adverts or commercials for my own brand of tinfoil, which is guaranteed 100% to block out them mind waves. You know,
if you're gonna market your own foil, it's not in the foil. They're all the same. It's in the box it comes in.
Yeah, I'm starting up a new line of merch, which is basically varying types of tinfoil for any situation, basically.
Mrs. T says, "Okay, I'm done with Disney."
Yeah. Are you done with what do you mean? Are you done with watching Disney films, or do you mean you're done with talking about Disney? Because I've got loads more to go. Yeah. All right. I've got loads more. Yeah. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I have, just in case people was getting a bit fed up with the Disney stuff, I do actually have a bit to talk about on NASA as well. So if you want to hear that, yeah.
On what?
On NASA.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
That's another show in and of itself. Holy crap.
Oh. Yeah. Life of Rito says, super strong, everlasting tinfoil.
All the foil's the same. Like I said, it's all in the box and what it comes in. There's definitely a difference in how it's put together and how it's rolled. I hate to say it, I'm becoming an authority on foil lately.
Yeah, it's becoming the go-to guy on foil. Right? Interactive DNA is in the house. Centroid aerial images. You need to be in Rio de Janeiro. Carnival in Brazil. Need your talent. Yeah. How quick do you reckon you can get there, Mark?
Wait. No.
Are you setting off straight after the stream? Yeah.
What's that?
Are you setting off straight after the stream? Yeah.
I got my plane booked. Wait a minute. Are the planes working now? They're taking off in the States now. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. We'll take a little Disney break because, I've got loads more Disney to talk about, don't get me wrong. Liam's Playworld, how's it going? How's it going, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Liam's Playworld, great to see you. Welcome to the chat. In here, mate, we're all respectful to each other. We all check each other's channels out. We all want to grow. We all want to thrive. That's how we do it, mate. That's all good, okay? So, yeah, essentially there was a NASA hack recently. Did you hear about this?
Nope.
Nope.
This was essentially NASA did a press release in October of last year, so only 2.5 months ago, which detailed a hack that occurred on the NASA computers, and they lost a whole load of data. Pictures were removed and stolen, and pretty much every employee in NASA's information, including names, addresses, and social security numbers, all that lot got hacked and not leaked so far. Whoever has it hasn't leaked it, but they do know that they've been hacked. And like I say, 2.5 months down the line, they've still not admitted that they know who it was. Even if they did, they probably wouldn't tell the public anyway who it was. So, yeah, but within that, essentially, there was a whole load of other stuff. There has been other NASA leaks, essentially. And did you ever hear about that British hacker who hacked into US Navy, government websites, FBI, and NASA? And essentially, he was looking for evidence that the government was withholding the technology for 0-point energy, which is energy that once you've set it up, it doesn't need fuel. It essentially fuels itself for basically free energy for the entire world. And he was hacking in looking for that. And over the course of about 6 or 7 years, he was looking at all the top secret documents. And there was other people in there with him as well, from all across the world. And the reason why he got caught is because he left a message on the FBI website telling them just how many people was in there, and that's how they caught him. Yeah, that's how they caught him. He was
bragging.
No, he was telling them that the he literally used the words, "Your security is SHIT. You need to patch it up. I've been in here numerous times, and there's always other people in here as well." He left a message to that effect on their thingy. Yeah.
Well, he did him a service, I guess.
Yeah, but he ended up getting extradited to the US, stood trial as well. And I think in the end, he got let off as long as he sort of helped the agencies actually plug in all the holes in their security, basically. But he actually revealed his own press release many, many years later where he said that what he was seeing on NASA's website was lists of non-terrestrial officers, which would mean not of Earth officers, on board ships which weren't listed on the Navy website, which had the designations USS, listed on NASA's website. That was part of their itinerary, some of these ships, which can only be presumed that they're in outer space or something like that. Yeah, and a whole host of other things that he talked about as well. So do you have any thoughts on that, Kev?
Well, I don't really know anything about it, so no.
Oh, blooming heck.
Sorry.
Centroid, you got anything to add, mate? Anything to chip in?
Unfortunately, I have to say no to that, too. I don't know anything about that. Never heard of it.
That's all cool. Otto Trainer, great to see you, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Much appreciated. Everyone in here is really cool. Say hello, meet people. You might gain some subs, some new followers, whatever. And that's something that I like to very much actively encourage. That's how, I've grown to where I am now. It's how a lot of other people have grown as well. Hyper Gaming, how's it going, buddy? I met him on Nero Trigger's live stream earlier. Seems like a great dude. great to meet you, mate. You know, awesome. We're talking about conspiracy theories, as you might have guessed. And I was just talking about NASA conspiracy theories. Just for that moment, we're just having a little Disney break before we go back into it. Don't want to, you know, yarn on for too long about the Disney for too long, you know. Yeah. I think NASA hack was done by the Chinese, says Interactive DNA. If you spell NASA backwards, it spells ASAN. Yeah, what does ASAN stand for, by the way? I'm willing to bet it'd be Asian Space Agency, something like that. Do either of you guys know what it stands for, by any chance?
Can't say that I do.
I'm not sure why NASA spelt backwards is relevant to anything.
Well, yeah. Another strange one, I mean, this isn't relating to the hacks or anything like that, is that there's these UFOs being spotted at the minute, and they actually, there's loads of videos of them, and they're sort of, ignore these other fingers here, they're sort of in like a 7 shape, sort of like that shape in the sky. I can't show you really, but in like a 7 shape or like a chevron shape in the sky. And essentially, it's believed that NASA know about whatever these things are because essentially on all of the like mission badges and that, there's always imagery that looks like 7s or the chevron, you know, like the flying wing sort of design, which all of the major space agencies use as well. Even though the chevron is a very much sort of outdated design from the 50s, basically. I know it still gets used today, but you know, you'd think that a space agency wouldn't use a design which is basically optimized for flying through air. Basically, you'd think they'd look for something that was optimized for moving through, you know, the vacuum of space, wouldn't you? Surely, but yeah. You got anything to add to that, Kev?
Not really, no.
Are you awake? Are you awake, Kev?
Yeah, just
Are you awake, mate?
Opinion on it, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm only messing with you, mate. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Any thoughts on that, Mac?
I mean, isn't the chevron still used as a ranking system in the U.S. military? I don't know. That's all I can think of when you mention chevron. I don't know what its connection would be to NASA and whether or not it has to do with space vehicles. But yeah, I don't know much about that, and I'm just reaching right now.
Yeah.
I figure they just think it looks cool.
Yeah. Again,
possibly.
sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Why read into it?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the imagery seems to hide the chevrons in a 7 shape, even when the 7 seems to have no real sort of link to the mission, you know. And they usually say it's like, oh, there was 7 people on the crew or something, but it turns out there was actually 5 or something like that, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's very odd. Another piece of kind of UFO and drone news rolled into one is that a lot of people recently have been capturing what are called fast movers, a type of UFO phenomenon, essentially on the drone footage. Now, before I watched a YouTube video which showed one of these things almost knocking his drone out the sky, it's that close and that clear, this footage. Essentially, I saw on Facebook on one of the drone groups that somebody had posted, please check out my video, was flying today, and bearing in mind this footage is slowed down by 4 times, I believe. Please watch at like 8 seconds, I believe it was, for what is known as a fast mover, and there's 2 of them parallel, straight one after another, basically. And these like white flashes of light, literally, God knows what speed they was moving, literally went whizzing by, and even at 4 times, you know, 4 times slow motion, they still whiz by. Like for a few frames, you see it, like a blur of light whizzes by. And this drone's quite high up in the air, and these blobs of light were pretty big and bright. I know that'd be fairly easy to edit in, but a lot of drone flyers around the world are actually reporting on these fast movers on the footage that they don't see while they're flying. Now, somebody actually posted a video of a fast mover that actually flies literally towards the camera of his drone and whizzes right past it. And the nearest thing in the background is these hills, which look like they're several miles away. This object is all I can call it. Looks like a white tube, almost like a worm in a way. I know it sounds mad, but like a flying worm. You know, I don't know if you've ever heard of the rods phenomenon, but essentially, it seems to just come out of these hills at ridiculous speeds, and then straight towards his drone. And last minute, it diverts off and whizzes past it to the side, and it gets real close. And there's all sorts of videos breaking this down now on the internet. And that sort of footage would be very, very difficult to fake because, I mean, it's high quality footage. You know, drone footage is known for being great quality. And this thing gets right up close as well. That'd be very, very hard to forge. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you reckon there's these fast movers invading or out like that? They're also called fast walkers, by the way. Ridiculously fast, you know, streaks of light in the sky. But obviously this new bit of footage doesn't actually show them going in a straight line. This one looks like it's intelligently flying from somewhere to somewhere at speeds of possibly, you know, even in the hundreds of meters, if not kilometers per second, it looks like. So what do you reckon to that then, Kev? Just a quick rundown on that.
I've seen video of these things a few times. I've no idea what they are, but yeah, it's interesting and mysterious.
Yeah.
But I couldn't begin to guess what it is.
Yeah, okay. Mark, what's your thoughts on that, mate? Real quick in the background, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna
have to look at the video myself, but a lot of people will explain stuff like that as ball. If you've ever heard of ball lightning before, but I don't know because that stuff can move pretty quickly too.
Yeah, I'm just searching up this footage of to see if I can find it again. Where the heck is that gonna be? I'm just looking for it. This might have to be for another day. To be fair,
Equinox just posted a link. I don't know if that's how I'm looking at it myself.
Is this the video? I'm gonna have a quick look, and I'll let you know if it is. 1 second. Just having a look. Fast movers. It was on Secure Team. Let's have a look.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yep. I believe this is the video. Yeah. Let me just have a look. It's the one sort of towards the end. Where are we at? I'm just looking for this. When's that? June the 20th. No, I think it was on another channel. There is a lot of them on this footage, though. I think I have seen this before, the Fast Movers video. Essentially, there's more footage like this now. One of the ones I saw, it flew literally right towards the camera and just whizzed past at the last second. And this thing was moving at speeds. I can't even imagine how fast it was going, you know. So I'm going to make sure that I find that link for you at some point because I'd love for you all to see it. I will make sure that you all get to see it. For next Sunday, I'll have that prepared for you, okay? But at the minute, I've got to sort of focus on the chat and, you know, speaking to the guests and whatnot. I am just looking for it. It's quite recent. It was from a few weeks ago. Yeah. Still trying to find it, and I'm having no luck, so I'm going to have to come back to that.
Yeah, this is the one that he posted. They do point out what looks to be like a fast mover.
Yeah, there's a lot of them fast movers on that footage. Drone Obsessed Jerry says, when I hear about these UFO sightings, I think about the SR-71 Blackbird from Skunkworks. This plane was so many years ahead of anything we knew for decades. Agreed, mate, and I am fascinated by the SR-71.
See this video that he showed. He's flying into storm clouds, and again, one would argue it might be ball lightning. It looks like it is coming right out of the clouds, and it is going pretty quick. But the tails on it almost look like they could be fabricated. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm going to have a quick skim through that in the background real quick, and then go back to some of the Disney theories again. We have gone off on a mad tangent, but I don't mind that. To be fair, don't mind that at all. That's cool. I'm going to stick a like on that, and I'm going to revisit it later. So next Sunday, I'll have a bit more to say about it, if you know what I mean. That's all good, because obviously I can't play the audio, because the way the audio's working through OBS, it's a direct audio capture of my desktop, basically. So, yeah, that's all good. So I'm just going to run through one or two more of these Disney conspiracy theories and probably wrap up in about between 10 and 20 minutes, maybe. That's cool. So in this one, then, I'm reading from the E-Online article. We're back to Disney again. I'm going to pop that in there. Okay, that's the article I'm reading from. Essentially, this one's called Aladdin, Take Off Your Clothes. This was one of the first dirty secrets we remember hearing about in a Disney movie. In the scene where Aladdin, Prince Ali, first visits Princess Jasmine on her balcony in Aladdin, he is rushed by her pet tiger Raja. He can be heard saying things like, "Down Kitty" and "Scat," but supposedly if you listen closely you can hear him also say the phrase, "Good teenagers take off their clothes," very quietly, like a subliminal message. Now this is up for interpretation. Some debunkers say he's actually saying, "Good kitty, take off and go," which was the line in the script, and it just sounds like "good teenagers take off their clothes." And it says, have a listen below and tell us what you think. So obviously, if you want to hear that, go to the article and take a listen. And I have heard that clip before, and it does sound really shady. What's your thoughts on that? I'll start with Kev again, seeing as he's always got something great to say.
I just think the likelihood is probably that he says what's in the script, don't you?
Well,
and
yeah.
It just happens to sound like something else.
Well, yeah, but that's no fun, is it? That's no fun.
I think these things are always interesting. The Sesame Street one gets me every time, but I can't really say it on this. I've got to watch my language, but there's a really good Sesame Street one.
All right. Okay. What does it say in Sesame Street then? You can say the word if you like, as long as I don't swear.
Well, I can't remember, but he seems to use the F word. And no matter how many times you listen to it, it still sounds like that. But once you know what he does say, you can hear that he doesn't say the F word, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very odd. Equinox Photography Bristol says, right, I'm off to bed.
If I can find the clip, I'll put it in the comments.
Yes, please do, mate. Please do. So good night, Equinox, mate. You know, great. Thanks for coming in and supporting the channel. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, mate, and I'll catch you again real soon, okay? Yeah, and also, not only that, but I mean, there's loads of clips, like compilations on YouTube of swear words and whatnot, sort of like passed off in kids' films and programs. I remember watching a cartoon when I was a kid. I can't remember which one it was, but it was on, CITV. It's like a kids' channel, and one of the superheroes shows up, and he goes, what did he say again? He goes, "Oh yeah, well that's a load of bollocks." He goes, literally on a kids' TV show. when bollocks, as you know, sort of is one of them kind of swear words, and it's definitely not really appropriate for a kids' TV show, I don't think. But they do seem to fit them in, don't they? Now, what is quite strange as well, obviously, is that there's some conspiracy theorists that believe, and I'm not reading this from any articles, but from some of the research I was doing today and previously, there are some conspiracy theorists that believe that Disney is trying to sexualize kids at a young age, basically, by subliminally putting in sexual references and things. Hence the Aladdin clip, for example. And not only that, there is the famous scene in The Lion King where Simba's just done talking to sort of the cloud ghost of his dad, Mufasa, you know, in the clouds, you know, when he's been exiled. And as he falls to the ground, the dust flies up, and as it sort of settles in the sky, it spells out the word sex in the sky. Have you ever seen that?
No.
No, really? Christ.
No, I've never seen
I know.
I have seen though that there's that famous picture of Aladdin where in the background there's the castle and one of the spires is definitely shaped in a phallic fashion. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't actually.
Oh well, you might want to check that one out.
Oh
That
yes, I
one,
think I have actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have the link here to that Lion King clip, and I am going to show you it in a second. I'm just making sure it's the right
I
one.
definitely want to see that.
Yeah. This is not very good quality. When you watch the original thingy, like on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, in good quality, you can see it a lot better. But for a split second, it does actually spell out sex basically in the dust that's kicked up. I've put that on there. There are better examples of it. It's quite a low quality one, but just for the sake of quickness, that's essentially the one that I've found. Top of the listings for searching Lion King sex, funnily enough. So I'm hoping that I don't get flagged by YouTube for some of these shady searches. Like, my search is legit. I'm not after any sort of Lion King pornography or anything like that. Yeah, Miss T says, Kev says, don't mess with the Lion King, lol. I know, I'm proper ripping on your favourite Disney film tonight, Kev, aren't I?
I don't mind.
What's that?
Well, I don't mind.
I know, yeah. It'll always be special to you, won't it?
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my thoughts on some of these if I can interject at this point.
Yeah.
I honestly, if that is indeed what's happening, I think it's just poor editing and somebody having some fun sneaking something like that in. I don't think it's any kind of subliminal messaging because I have some personal anecdotes of people passing artwork out and it being published, and if you look at it a certain way, they're like, oh, you got to look at it this way. Nobody would have caught it unless somebody pointed it out, and I think it's just an animator who's just trying to having some fun. That would be my thought more than it being Disney trying to promote sex to children. Kind of like a practical joke.
Yeah, well, there is the other famous clip from The Little Mermaid, you know, with the marriage scene, and the priest is stood there, and you can very clearly see on the original versions that his pants are sticking out like he's got an erection. And this has been referenced many times. Have you not seen that before, Mark?
No. Can't say that I have.
And obviously, once people noticed it and took exception to it, they actually edited that out in the future releases. But there is also plenty of clips online showing the original version with the priest with an erection at, you know, marrying Ariel and the prince, whatever. You know, basically nursing a full-on, you know, erection. So, but obviously, if it wasn't, then why would they change it, basically? Yeah. I know it's not Disney, for example, and I'm not reading any articles now. I'm literally just going off the top of my head. Essentially, I know it's not Disney, but in The Wizard of Oz, have you ever heard of the conspiracy theory that essentially the Munchkins in the film, all the dwarves and you know, short-statured people, essentially, you know, I don't know how much more PC I can be about it.
Little people, you're good.
Yeah. Essentially, there was treated like crap, poor pay, long hours, and the rest of the crew would mock them openly on set as well. And there is a conspiracy theory that many of these, the Munchkin actors, essentially were committing suicide, and one of them even went so far as to commit suicide on set just before filming's about to take place by hanging himself from one of the trees, which is a prop. And in the original footage,
I've seen that.
You can quite clearly see that there is something hanging from the tree, slightly just sort of swaying, and
Yep.
it actually cuts to Dorothy as she's walking along. She actually passes that bend in the road, and actually looks back at that bit in between the trees, quite horrified, and then carries on moving with the scene. And essentially, in later versions of the film, they did 2 re-edits of that scene. One of them just sort of marks it out, so it's not there. And then in the second edit, it's actually a giant swan that's there for some reason. All the colours have been brightened up, and it's like as that bit shows up, like the swan opens its wings, and where that object was hanging from the tree, it sort of covers where it would have been. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen the original, and I played it back, and if it's the scene I'm thinking of where they're kind of heading off into the on the Yellow Brick Road, you can, in the version I saw, you can clearly see what looks to be like somebody walking up a ladder, just a shadow, and then literally seconds later falling and dangling like a body would look if they hanged themselves. But the imagery almost looks like a stick figure more than an actual person, and it doesn't look like the stature of a little person either. But I've heard of it, and I've watched it over and over, and it looks like somebody. It's obviously something happening back there that was not planned to happen, and it does appear to be somebody hanging themselves. It's just more of a shadow than anything else. It is kind of creepy.
It is
but
very creepy.
Ever since then, every time I watch it, the reruns, they've since edited that out. You can't see it anymore.
Yeah, I've just posted a link to the video, so if you want to check out the Hanging Munchkin,
I want to see if that's the same
right
thing
there.
I remember.
Yeah, that does look very creepy.
Somebody doesn't like my hat. It's looking worse for wear at the base. I better straighten it out. It's getting hot.
Yeah. In that link, essentially, it's around. Call it the 1 minute mark if you want to see a zoomed up slow mo of the Hanging Munchkin, and it's clearly swinging. Yeah, it's definitely moving from side to side. Yeah, Life of Redo says, funny how many have heard about this. We ain't all crazy, lol. Yeah, are you just...
I see it in the background, yeah.
Yeah, about the minute mark, it does a slow-mo zoom in on it. Yeah, so... Yeah, Drone Obsessed Jerry says, I just saw the crazy bit of the Munchkin swinging. Yeah, apparently that Munchkin was so depressed being on set and how badly he was treated and, underpaid and whatnot, that he decided to make a stand. He went up just before filming was about to start, and he put a rope on the tree and jumped, basically, ready for filming, which is obviously a very, very sad tale, and I do feel for the guy. Or, I don't know if it's a male or female, but you got to feel bad, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Apparently these Munchkins were bullied horribly during the making of The Wizard of Oz. But it was a different time back then, wasn't it? I mean, when did The Wizard of Oz come out? It was the 40s, wasn't it?
I do. Yeah, I think so. No, actually, it came out right about. I'd have to take a look. It actually, oddly enough, it beat out It's a Wonderful Life because of its colorization and whatnot. Yeah. It was. I mean, Meaning of Life got. I mean, whatever it was, the Wonderful Life got bashed because it came out. I don't know. It might have been 40s. Yeah, 40s. I think you're right. It was. No, it was black.
It was.
It was the 1930s, but I'm not sure.
1939. So I wasn't far off. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't heard of the Hanging Munchkin theory of The Wizard of Oz, now there is videos if you search, basically of the re-edits. Oh yeah, there is a play of the re-edit. Essentially, yeah, with whatever that is in the background is not actually there. So I'm going to repost that video real quick because obviously this is the topic we're on at the minute. And then obviously you can see it for yourself, can't you? Original clip, and then at the 3:05 mark, just play that bit, and you can clearly see that what was there in the background has been edited out. and then it also shows you the second edit where there's like a swan. Randomly just a swan that sort of blocks that with its opening of the wings, basically. Yeah. Lauren Amy says, the actress who played Dorothy was 16 at the time, and they had to put something around her breast to make her look 14.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wouldn't doubt it. Actually, little fun tidbit fact: the last living Munchkin, little person who played that, lived just a few miles away from me. She just passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just that would have been a person to talk to about that if she was still alive. I would have loved to have gotten her
Jeez.
thoughts on it.
Yeah, man. So I just thought I'd share that with you because obviously it's still
Yeah,
sort
that-
of dark, sort of kids' films, isn't it? You know, childhood
Yeah,
memories and that.
and it's a shame they don't have an earlier clip, because if that's the one that looks familiar, if you had watched that a little sooner, you might have seen supposedly the person did it on the set during the scene. It wasn't like done prematurely. It was like happened as they were filming, so you could see the person climbing and then hang himself. So they've this person who put this clip on here kind of took that, didn't have that part of it in there. I do see the person hanging back there, though.
Yeah, and it's not a static object either, is it?
No,
You
it's
can
not. It's
clearly
moving,
see.
it's swaying.
Yeah. Hello, PD Tech. I hope you're doing well. We're on the subject of dark Disney conspiracies. We've talked a little bit about NASA and aliens, as we always do. But at the minute, I know it's not a Disney film. We are talking about The Wizard of Oz and the Hanging Munchkin conspiracy theory. I have posted a clip. Lever Guns 50, I hope you're doing well. I'm going to repost this link again for you guys who are new in. Please check the 1 minute mark of the video and 3 minute mark. It's not my video, hence why I'm not playing it. Yeah, I don't want any copyright strikes or anything like that. So that's cool. Yeah, Drone Obsessed says, I want to go back and watch some more. I don't know how all the stuff could be made up. It was also talking about a book, The Last President, written in 1900s. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, so anybody who hasn't checked that link, I know I keep going on about it as if it's my video that I want you to watch, but it is somebody else's video, I can assure you. That's why I can't play it, okay? So, yeah, I think real soon I want to start wrapping up the stream, so that gives me chance to say my goodbyes to everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. It is much appreciated. Now, I am looking for somebody to raid as well, so if you guys are all feeling particularly nice, at very least, will you come over to a link I'm going to post in a minute and just say hello and hit the like button and whatnot. Canadian Drone Hubs Live with 9 people watching. I feel a bit guilty for potentially hogging all of his supporters for the stream. So, yeah, that's decided already. Roger's the one to get raided.
Yes.
Definitely.
And feel free to stay there. It's a great channel. You might find some nice channels and get some good support there as well.
Yes, indeed. That's the link. That's the link I'm posting in the chat right now to Roger at the Canadian Drone Hub. So feel free to go over and say hello to him. And please use this. Let's go with Aerial Views Raid with a hashtag. Just like this, maybe. Something along them lines. Yeah, that's
I love
cool.
me a good raid.
Yes, that's all good. So I'll thank you all now for showing up. Mark, do you want to say your final goodbyes, mate, until next stream?
Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming in. I had a blast. My head's killing me. This is a ton of foil on my head. So I appreciate everybody coming in, and I thank you. Thanks for the support.
Yes, okie dokie. Kev, do you want to say some final words, mate, for everybody watching?
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
I
Sure.
thought you was going to look into the camera and just go, no.
No.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. So everybody who's still here then, I'm reposting the link to Roger's stream there. Please go over, use the hashtag aerial views raid, whatever. Just let him know you've come over from here and whatnot. Like I say, I will be back to streaming on Wednesday night, 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And Conspiracy Theory Sunday, we'll be back again, same time next week, 10 p.m. UK, 5 p.m. Eastern. And show up early if you can, because I'm going to run a little pre-roll of some probably going to be very cringy comedy ideas that I've got on the go. But I don't really care. I don't mind a bit of cringe. So thank you all, for coming in and supporting me. You must have encountered Mark and Crags in the chat already. If not, their links are just below the video in the description, below the stream. So that's spot on. Not bad. 2 hours, 20 minutes. Great stuff. That's all good. And I'll catch you all over at Rogers at the Canadian Drone Hub, okay? One last repost of his link. There it is. Go over, say hello. And for anybody who hasn't met him before, he is a true geezer, honestly. He will hook you up with, good information, good advice, and there's lots of great supporters on there too as well who you can meet. The pillar of the drone community. Oh, before I go, I haven't got my catchphrase in, have I?
No.
Alien, reptilian, shapeshifting hybrids.
Oh,
there you go.
Now I can go to sleep tonight.
I was like, release. Yeah. Sweet release. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you everybody, and I'll catch you all again on Wednesday night. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all over at Canadian Drone Hub in a minute, okay? All the best, everybody.
Have a good night, all.
Bye.
Farewell.